Are we required to tell our policymakers that imposing tax and making funding costlier to real estate mars the basic concept of affordable housing? Affordable housing has become a favorite topic for public debates and especially for politicians. That too without any concrete action plan. Let me deal with it threadbare. You will be shocked to hear this. 60% of the sale value goes either in approval cost or taxation. There are 5 elements of cost that go into a building: land, material, labor, approval cost, which is 10 to 30% of the sale value. McKinsey says it's 40%, and taxes, which varies between 30 to 36% of sale value. Material and labor will be ever inflating. Much is talked about the approval cost, and even Housing Ministry has identified it as one of the issues to be dealt with for affordable housing. The taxation, which amounts to 30 to 36% of sale value, if we consider excise, VAT, service tax, PF, stamp duty, works contract tax, municipal taxes, cess and premiums, income tax, etc. It is necessary that we create tax-free zones for defined affordable housing. The third element is land. In my recent tours across the cities, I found that in most of the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, lands are converted and sold as plotted development. It's crime. We are destroying agricultural land and reducing the green cover. We are also making urban infrastructure unviable. Global urban science talks of high density vertical development for viable infrastructure and preserving green cover. In our country, FSI, FAR is a taboo. But in our own country, a very revolutionary idea came into practice and became milestone in Hyderabad, where FSI concept was removed. And the result is well-planned, disciplined development at no price escalation. The prices have been stable, not only stable, reduced. The rentals are lower than the previous time, and housing is cheaper than the previous time. Now coming to the most important and flavor of the season, corruption. We hear the national leaders often saying, and I quote, "The real estate sector of India is marred by the image of being most corrupt." It is said that this sector is breeding ground for black money and corruption. This country is, sadly though, rated to be one of the most corrupt nations of the world. Any citizen of this great country will feel hurt and humiliated. The real estate sector is rated to be the biggest contributor to this notoriety. With great sense of responsibility, I say, we the developers are victims of the system and not the beneficiaries. We hate this system, which makes us look ugly. We curse every person who exploits us to give us a legitimate permission which we deserve instantly and without any illegitimate demand. Hence, instead of blaming it on anybody, we have decided to get into the roots and find solution. I have taken it up as priority agenda for my team at CREDAI this term, and got into exercise of finding the causes and working out the solution. After a lot of thinking, we have now embarked on a revolutionary concept, the mission transparency. Some laughed at the very suggestion, but we are firm and committed. I started my India tour to promote mission transparency. And I got tremendous response from amongst fellow developers. The media till date has given more than 50,000 square centimeter of coverage over last few weeks. I am happy to see more and more media queries coming into our media room. The mission transparency envisages action at two fronts: the approval process and practices of real estate developers. Let's deal with approval process first. This could come to many as startling revelation. This process involves connecting with more than 150 persons in about 40 departments of central, state government and municipal corporations. After investing heavily into land cost, even a day's delay in approval adds to the cost. And in the desperation, and when speed becomes important, the concept of speed money creeps in. Each and every developer has to go through frustrating process of getting approvals. And this is the mother of the problem. We have to obtain more than 40 certificates, NOCs and clearances. This takes anything between 2 to 3 years. Each person in the system cashes in on the desperation of developers. As you all are aware, this business of ours is highly capital intensive. So instead of crying foul and decrying corruption, let us find ways and how to go about it and to the very root of corruption. In 2001, McKinsey submitted a report to a group of ministers, and I quote from that report: the government of India as long ago as, land approval related hurdles are costing 40% higher to home cost. 40% higher to home cost just because of approval process. And if tracked well, removing this hurdle, real estate can add 1.5% to the GDP. And what we have done since then? Only added more hurdles, like environment clearances, high-rise clearances, etc. Thus, approvals have become more difficult, costlier. And at 2 years' time, to which leads to cost escalation that a developer cannot bear. Now, the solution. The solution, as we can see, is simple and much talked of: single window clearance. But implementation could become another problem. Here we have worked on it. We have created a comprehensive checklist. This takes into consideration the requirement of each department that we need to go. We are happy to present this to you, sir, today. If we comply with all the requirements, then one single authority should be able to give us approval to our building proposals within 2 to 3 weeks instead of 2 to 3 years. The people-to-people contact is gone. Corruption is gone.